Welcome back to the Grid Watchers podcast, guys. I'm joined, as usual, by Causa, Rickson, and Semba. They're all back today for the podcast. And today, of course, was the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, which, guys, I thought last year was amazing, but this year somehow topped it another level. It was just crazy.
Yeah, I was speechless most of the race, in fairness. It started well, and I was like, oh, it's going to be a bit like Bahrain, where it just petered out, but it was amazing.
You were like, I was thinking like, no way. Last year was a fluke. It's not going to be carnage again. And then 30 seconds, everything was confirmed.
Yeah.
It took 35 seconds for the first safety car to be deployed.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. You just saw bodywork flying up after 2 corners, and you're like, yeah, this is going to be exactly the same as last year, isn't it?
They got, turn 1 was relatively clean, but then turn 2, it all went tits up.
I actually said, oh, they've actually got all got through turn 1. They made sure it was good, and then went, oh no, they go 3 wide into turn 2.
Yeah, it didn't really work going 3 wide, and you just saw, but you had Sorokin and Ocon out within 3 corners, and then you had, Alonso coming into the pits, Ericsson into the pits, Raikkonen into the pits. It was just absolutely crazy off the start of that race, and I thoroughly enjoyed it because it wasn't. I know being quite plastic saying there was loads of crashes, so it was good, but it was actually quality racing in the Grand Prix as well.
Yeah, you remember
Red Bulls mainly.
Like 2 or 3 episodes ago, Chu called Hartley a god
Because he is.
Right, when turn 1, like everyone got through turn 1, you had all the cars. So you had, let me count real quick, you had 19 cars that were already at turn 2, and then miles behind him was Hartley, just doing my own little thing, but he got through clearly, and he got points in the end. Oh, wait. Yeah, he got a point
Yeah,
in the end.
he got a point in the end, yeah.
Exactly. He's just chilling at the back.
I think he watches the Noob Journey, because we once said, slow wins your races.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, definitely. But I think what I wanted to talk about was sort of the major instance, and the first one being Raikkonen and Ocon at turn 3. What are our thoughts? Was it a racing incident, Raikkonen or Ocon? What is everybody's thoughts on that crash?
Ocon left him no space whatsoever. Raikkonen maybe could have backed off a little bit more, but he was already like with his front wheels ahead of Ocon's rear wheels, so just meh.
Yeah, but no racing driver's backing out of that. It's definitely not Raikkonen's fault in any way, shape, or form. Ocon's gone for the apex for some reason when there's a big ass, wide Ferrari there. And I think, in fairness, he got what he deserved.
Raikkonen could have easily dodged the whole thing though if he'd been more patient.
Yeah, it's lap 1. I mean,
first of all, it's lap 1. Second of all, he knows that he's quicker. So if he just patiently waits until the massive straight he gets, he's got all the time in the world to make that move. There was no point in him lunging there, and as much as it was Ocon's fault for obviously not giving him enough space, it was just as much Kimi's fault, because nobody in their right mind, especially because that corner is like a right angle, there's no way he's going to want to, like any driver's going to want to do that. And if you watch it back, he locked up a bit and made it really difficult for himself. So
yeah,
both had a part to play. And if you crash there, that's like your car's going to be there forever, and it ruins the flow of the race, because that's a safety car without a doubt.
But even say Raikkonen was like a bit more ahead than he was now, because now he wasn't, like I said, front wheels and back wheels were like lined up ish. Even if he was side by side, he was never going to make that corner without touching Ocon.
He would have been close.
Touching his car. Yeah, there's no way he could have made that corner. So I agree with Rickson. I think Raikkonen would have been smarter just to back off instead of pitting for a new front wing.
But then it worked out in the end, so...
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but he could have been in with a shout of winning the race from the start if he hadn't done that.
Yeah, that's true.
The amount of shit that went on, as much as Kimi's washed up, he's definitely got a race win in him somewhere, but he keeps fucking up himself, or his team. We've talked about it before, so I won't talk about it for too long. But his team's always putting obviously Seb first, and it's fair game to them if they want to do that. But he's gonna want to take every chance he gets, and sometimes stuff like that happens, like he did with Ocon.
Yeah, I think like you said, Rickson. I think as you said before, he is slightly washed up, and he is literally second fiddle to Sebastian Vettel. So it's the way it is at Ferrari, isn't it? Unfortunately. Talk about Red Bull December. Myself and your team. Before the crash, I'm sure if you haven't watched it, go back and watch it now, because it was like two bulls mating each other at the turn one. But before that, Red Bull seemed to have a problem with their ERS system, and
the batteries weren't recharging.
Yeah,
that's the I was bitching to you guys in the Twitter chat we have about people on Twitter being absolutely daft idiots. Like, oh, Verstappen's moaning on the radio, blah, blah, blah. And then Ricciardo comes on the radio, says the exact same thing. Oh, no, Ricciardo's got an issue.
No, but Max goes about it a completely different way. He whines like the little bitchy teenager that he is.
No, he whined because he had...
No, I do agree. I must say, I do agree.
He had signs all over his gearbox on a softer compound.
But, so, the difference between Danny and Max, right? When you listen to it back, Danny asked once or maybe twice, and was like, "What's the best way to charge the batteries?" That was a good question.
Yeah, they went mode 7, immediate answer.
He asked for help, and he got his answer, which was, "I'm sorry, there's nothing that we can do to give it extra charge." Whereas Max was like, every lap, "I'm going really slow. Can you help me again? Like, is there anything I can do?" Even though he's been told, and the guy that was on the other end to Max was basically saying, "Look, man, there's nothing that we can do. Just carry on." And it was constant for about 3 laps. That's the difference between the two drivers, and that's why Max is never going to be like one of the top drivers, because he moans and he doesn't just drive. There's always a reason that means that he's not going to win the race. There's always some shit. He doesn't just take what he's got and say, for example, like today, he was like, "Clearly, we just haven't got enough speed, or my car's not working. It's not me." And there's always something else. When he should just say, "Actually, you know what, I've been a bit shit today." Or, the start of this season, I've been a bit shit. And he won't own up to that. And I think other drivers would. And that's why I would put them ahead of him.
Yeah, the likes of Hamilton and Vettel will just stand up and just go, "Yeah, I haven't been good enough so far this season." Yeah. So, yeah, we can hear you, Ken. So, yeah, you can see the difference. You could tell that from when Max started in F1, he did a lot of, "Oh my God, he didn't give me just shouting down the radio. He didn't give me the inside. Oh, I crashed out because of this." It's not like, "I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah." He won't own up to anything. He won't go, "I'm sorry, team, blah, blah, blah." He'll just complain and moan. And I think that sort of started from the beginning. So I think Max has still got a lot of maturing to do, which is very evident this season by the amount of incidents that he's had. He's got a lot of maturing to do if he wants to grow in his career.
Like, he is still really young, but you're in the top motorsport. This is like the pinnacle, and he's taken drivers who are worse than him a lot longer. And I think being the way he is and being a little whiny bastard and complaining that he gets kind of tarnishing the sport, and how dedicated you have to be and how many years you have to put in to actually make it. And in the crash today, immediately as soon as they got out of the car, he immediately walked over to Danny and started trying to change the blame. But I think it took, obviously, Christian Horner to be like, "Look, lads, this is just getting fucking ridiculous now. We need to slow. You're costing us big time here." And I think it must have been Crofty. He basically said that, obviously, Danny Rick's contract's up at the end of the season. Personally, if Max is going to be my teammate, I don't want to race there anymore.
They've had some good battles, though.
But it always ends the same way. Either they crash out, or they cost each other loads of time because one of them just won't give it up.
One should have let one go or gone.
We were typing,
furiously
during the race, like, don't, please don't do it. Oh, thank God,
I
thought, thank God, finally a pit stop. Ricciardo's going to come out ahead, or going to pit and be ahead of Max, and they're just going to settle for P4 and 5, and that'll be it. Just each go for fastest lap and battle each other that way. But no, they went straight at it again, and the moment I'm typing to cause it, they're going to crash, they fucking crash.
Yeah.
And even though, I know it hurts me to say it, but as a massive Max fan and Formula One fan, I agree with everything Rickson said. His age isn't it just isn't a factor anymore because it's his fourth season in Formula One at the moment.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Also, it's just the little stupid mistakes like China. He fucked up his Yeah, it was China. He fucked up his own race because he couldn't wait. Same now. If he just would have let, well, not the big crash, the one before where they touched wheels.
Yeah.
There's
no need for that.
There's no need for that, and it's just that's why I said in the chat as well. He's got an image of Max crashed happen, which is the worst play on name I've ever heard.
I've not seen that. Thank God.
But now he's got that image, and it's going to take him the rest of the season to get rid of it. Because same thing happened with his dad. His dad was a brilliant racer, but he ended up in the gravel because he was overconfident, and that's all he's known of. That's all people remember him by, for finishing in the gravel. Same with Maldonado. Yes, he crashed a lot, but he was also not a bad racer.
Whoa! Wow! You were doing so well then, Ken, and you've thrown out an absolute blinder with that one.
Let me ask you this way: when the race was boring, who could you count on to spice it up?
I mean, that's not a very different way.
Yes, in a different way. So it's two ways. I hope Max doesn't go down that way. That he's only known for spicing up races because of crashing, but also during the battles with Danny Rick and Max, I was like sitting on the edge of my sofa, like, oh,
please no.
How the fuck are you ejaculating?
Heartbeat was raising and everything, and that's a feeling I haven't had in Formula One for quite some time, and I think that does say something, that it is the closest racing we've seen in the last few races. Yeah, there's only been 4, but you know what I mean. You get what I mean.
Yeah.
Someone is clearly not having enough intercourse if you're ejaculating over the Formula One.
I never said
ejaculate. I can guarantee Ken is getting plenty with his missus.
I never said ejaculate. I just said my heart raced and my heartbeat raced. That's it.
I was sweating. It was
I was sweating. It was
I think that it's not just the driver's fault as well. I think Christian Horner he should have done it a long time ago.
He should have gone, Max, let Danny go. If he's not any quicker, then he'll let you go.
But then again, Max's personality comes into it, and would he actually give up the place? I would say no. I don't think he would listen.
I think he would have. I don't know. It's just.
I think he's done it before.
But it's different now, though. I think he needs to prove a point to everyone.
Danny Rick's engineer can't go on the radio. I don't know how Max jumped Ricciardo in the pit stops.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but yeah.
Probably better in lap. It can happen because the pit stop times were similar. But then Danny Rick's engineer comes on the radio. Go on, go get him. It's not competition. It's your fucking teammate.
Yeah.
If you shout to me, say we're racing with friends, and you give me a headset, and you shout, "Go on, go get him," I'm gonna go fucking get him.
I am diving on at the inside and trying to get him. If they would
have said, next up is your teammate, 12 laps remaining, bring in the points, I don't think he would have put it in that position into turn 1. That's just my opinion.
I think they're acting as if they're two separate teams rather than Red Bull. I think that is the issue. As we've seen in the past, as we've just said, that I don't think team orders works in Red Bull because they're so... I think Max's personality and Ricciardo's also really competitive. I don't know. For me, I don't know what would work. Maybe put them on different strategies like Force India did last season, towards the end of the season, where they put them on totally different strategies so they wouldn't come near each other. I don't know whether that may be the issue, or I don't know, something else potentially to fix the problem they've got.
Yeah, the thing is that they're both like, yes, they do sometimes clash, but they also bring out the best in each other. Like Max has improved, like in qualifying, like Danny Rick used to out-qualify him every time. Now that's not the case, but they also qualify 5th and 6th or 4th and 5th every time. Every time they're near each other. Hungary last season, it ended in tears. This year, this race, it ended in tears. But I've got a question for you guys, and it's a serious one.
Oh,
so hang on to
God,
that one.
Oh, God.
Do you think if Toro Rosso would have a decent driver in their lineup, and enough with the heart? No, enough with the heart.
No, he said decent.
If they would have a decent driver in the Toro Rosso lineup, like they had a few seasons ago when Max was just dominating in the Toro Rosso, do you think they would demote Max? Yes or no?
No, not a chance.
So there you have it. Everyone who keeps shouting that on Twitter, you can shut up, delete your account.
Oh God! Christ.
I'm so mad. He's
I'm
so
so
mad. I think though after this weekend, because I watched the interview with Christian Horner on Channel 4, and you could tell that everything had been discussed. Danny and Max had talked with Christian Horner. Christian Horner had smashed their heads together against a massive brick wall and just gone, "What the hell were you thinking?" And sort of worked that one out. And I think from now we should see the difference in the this has happened, learn from it.
I don't think so. I agree with Rickson. I don't think it. Yeah.
You don't think so? Well, we'll have to wait and see. Horner would like that, I think,
Of course,
the
team
difference.
principle. Of course, he wants that, but I don't think it's
Because I think they've had a very long discussion about that one. So I think we'll have to see in the next couple of races. It'll be interesting to see in the next couple of races what happens when they're near each other again. Because as Ken said, they qualify near each other all the time. So it might be interesting just to see how they are sort of when they race with each other in Spain and whatever the next race is.
Also, Helmut Marko's face. I mean,
Yeah.
bloody hell. But can you imagine how that conversation went? Daniel, Max, he probably said Maximilian because he's old. Max, it's not that I'm angry, I'm just disappointed.
No, he was definitely angry.
He was
furious.
He was definitely having a loaded gun next to him just in case.
Oh Christ! What's he gonna do? Kill them both?
Yeah, just like you fucking behave next time. Loads this gun up.
Right, Hartley, mate. You're in the fucking Red Bull. We've killed them both.
Yeah.
I mean, with any bad luck, and this is serious for now, if it wouldn't have ended that well, they wouldn't have any backup drivers in Toro Rosso because they both would have been fucking smeared all over the Baku track.
Oh God!
You know, yeah, that's in a bit of a dark turn. I'm sorry.
Oh my days! What's happened to this podcast, man?
But
I want to know what's happened to Ken.
No, you do know what I mean. I just want to talk about the Gasly and
Oh God,
Hartley.
Yeah.
I mean, we can joke about it all we want, but that was fucking close and way too close for comfort. And if they would have touched, it wouldn't have ended well for one of them.
Controversial decision. It was Gasly the whole time.
I'm sorry.
No. I don't think anyone's at
You
fault.
could see him from miles away.
No, he couldn't. He was coming around the left-hander.
Were you wearing your glasses, Causa?
I want to know what TV set they got in Wales, mate.
I was watching in England. Oh no, I was watching in Wales.
To be
No,
fair, Hartley's face, during the interview, he was like a puppy that you caught chewing on your shoes because he was just like, "Yeah, I'm so sorry."
I think, because I think the thing is that he didn't expect Hartley to be that slow. Hartley's sort of in the middle of the track, but left this big bit on the right open. Gasly's seen him and gone quite tight to the corner, and then he's sort of I don't think it's anyone's fault. I just think it's happened, and just need to be a little bit more careful and just hold their lines a little bit better next time.
That was a heart attack moment for everybody.
Yeah, definitely.
The amount of speed they had.
Yeah.
That could have gone catastrophically wrong.
Yeah, that's why I said we're lucky. We still have two drivers in Toro Rosso.
Yeah. One didn't end up somewhere in the castle, I think. Yeah, it wasn't too far away from that.
Yeah, it wasn't. Well, probably.
Yeah.
But...
Down to
Yeah, it was a little bit. I think he was going 170 as he went past Hartley.
For people watching not in England, that's 520 kilometers an hour. I mean, I know I said
a lot of kilometers.
Yeah, it's a lot of kilometers per hour.
I said it and it took a really dark turn, but that's the thing I just wanted to talk about how wrong it was.
Yeah.
Can you imagine they would have crashed? The amount of people that would have gone, I told you the Halo was your fault.
Yeah, definitely.
If I see one more Halo meme, I'm going to delete my Twitter myself.
Right, someone send him a meme so I don't have to listen to his Max fucking bullshit.
Says the one that calls Lewis the GOAT.
He is the GOAT.
He's not.
Change my mind.
What does GOAT
With
stand
that haircut,
for?
he's an actual fucking GOAT.
Whoa! Wait, how old are you? You're 22 years old. You don't know what GOAT stands for?
Yes, I don't know what it means.
No, because
it's an American thing.
In hell.
Well, it's all about sheep for Cheek, isn't it? So
yeah, you
throw in a goat.
Yeah,
it
to do
know
with
what
sheep.
goats are.
Yeah, use sheep. Alex, figure out sheep for me to do with something like goat, and I'll work it out. please. Thank you.
All right, you. I'm trying to think of something.
With this one, boys.
Right. Anyway, next, I want to talk about the restart after the Red Bull crash, which, well,
should we talk about why the safety car was out for so long? Grosjean.
Oh, of course, yeah. Oh, that was probably one of the funniest moments I've ever seen in Formula One.
That was the safety car after, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. No, that was the Red Bull
a
crash, and he crashed in
continuation
that.
of the safety car because he crashed.
Oh shit! Right, my bad.
I mean, two of my favourite drivers had just crashed, and I still pissed myself laughing because of that.
It's like,
oh, it was awful.
I mean, do a little weave, warm up your tyres, that sort of thing. Nice and easy, I think. I mean, people in the noob journey do it. People in like F3 do it, pretty casually. And then there's just Grosjean, who's been in F1 for like 8 years, and he's like, what? I'm just going to mix it up a bit. Just ends up in the wall.
Yeah, but
it was a bit of a Nancy move.
It was, yeah.
Bottas did it last season in China, but there you got grass and a bit of runoff area, and then Grosjean goes like, tightest track on the calendar. Let me try this shit over here.
But at least in China, it had been raining and the astroturf was wet, so you sort of that was related. But I think Ken, you said it, and I agree with you. The more you watch it, the stupider it looks as well. And in fact, he blamed Ericsson for it as well. I was like, Ericsson is nowhere near him.
I was into that, going, oh, Ericsson must have hit me. And I was like, you what?
Apparently
he's almost too far away.
Apparently his engineer came over the radio and gave him that idea.
Oh, was it?
Oh, really? I mean, Ericsson was so far behind, he had time to, dodge it for a start, but lock up and dodge it as well. It's unbelievable.
Ericsson had like a special button on his wheel, and then his front wing pops up, and then out of it becomes a big stick that just swipes it.
Yeah.
Well, go gadget.
with a boxing glove at the end or
gadget
something.
Stick. He just destroys it with a stick.
I heard that and just went, I did watch this right, didn't I? Just like, it's unbelievable to hear that.
It was awful. It really proves how I've never rated Grosjean as a driver since he's been in the sport, and it sort of shows it there in plain sight, just crashing into the wall on the safety car.
Just throw that. What was he, 6th at the time?
Yeah.
He's thrown away a decent points finish as well. Like, that's true.
He's fucked up lots of people's fantasy teams, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get onto that later. Yeah. That was...
There's one thing we skipped. Talking about what's that thing calling them, fantasy league fuckovers. I put my turbo driver on fucking Hulk, and he can't even drive in a fucking straight line. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Turn 4, didn't he?
He did.
He lost it and then put his foot down his back end, stepped out so quickly. I don't know what was.
I feel so bad for Sirotkin. The camera hasn't been on him completing a lap during a race. Only in qualifying, you see him going around putting in not acceptable times, but then race day comes along, he puts motivational stuff on Twitter like, hey, we're ready to go, and he never lasts more than 10 fucking laps.
Yeah. Although, you've got Hulkenberg, Sirotkin, Alonso, and then all of a sudden you've got Sirotkin that's inside Alonso, and it's like, the fuck?
No, loads of people were saying that the wind on that particular corner, because of the buildings around it, was quite strong, and that might have had a part to play in the fact that, because there was a few people who were having issues, even on the formation lap.
Yeah.
Like the Saubers were struggling.
Hull came to the left into Sirotkin to the left into Alonso.
Yeah, the fact that Alonso managed to get that car back is a miracle in itself, let alone to get
that just
a decent
looked,
amount of points. Yeah.
Like he actually hit the wall going into the pit lane, and just that
was incredible.
Remember overrated llama like in online lobbies, that was how he took corners, like just used the barrier for guidance.
Called him out. Just called him out.
I still do that now, so can we not take the piece
but if we get back to the restart after
the restart
crash, I understood what Vettel was doing, but I think he got dicked over by the tailwind that was coming down that straight, and he just missed. I think he got the braking point on time, but then the wind just carried him a little bit further, and he went massive flat spot back down to 4th, and that's him out the win straight away.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, is you look at all the other drivers like Bottas, Hamilton, Raikkonen, they all braked early and made the apex quite easily. Vettel tried to dive one up the inside and it just didn't work. So you sort of go, yeah, Vettel was a little bit dicked over by the tailwind, but everyone else wasn't. There wasn't another car that ran wide in that entire, in that corner. So, but I mean, I went mental because Kimi was then on the podium.
Yeah.
Well, I was quite happy.
Kimi the bottle job.
But then he has the audacity to come on the radio and go like, I think I have a flat spot. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, I mean, make it more obvious. And then, moved down to fourth, and I was happy. Didn't you call it, Ken, that you were just waiting for team orders to come in and Vettel to overtake Raikkonen?
I just saw it coming.
Yeah.
It's just a weekly thing now, isn't it?
It's like doing what?
Come on!
My days, fair play. I didn't think you were that kind of guy, but
I'm sorry. I have no idea what I said wrong.
Whatever tickles your pickle, mate.
Ken, just don't, because you're just feeding him more. You're feeding him.
All right. But we were talking about the final restart, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the first restart when Vettel was still leading. What the actual fuck was that? That's a straight where they normally go in between 315 and 334 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
I think I could have run past him. I mean, fair play to Vettel. It was really clever. But he just looked so can you imagine buying a ticket for the grandstand and ooh, safety car restart, here we go. And you just hear the cars go.
Just crawling past. In fairness, it worked.
It worked.
Can't say it worked, so fair play to him.
I have to say, though, after the second safety car restart, so after Vettel's minor bottle job and Bottas's puncture, after that I stopped watching because Hamilton was in the lead and I thought it was so undeserved that I just stopped watching. I pulled out my phone and that was it.
I agree.
Nah.
I do agree.
And that's the moment Rickson tuned in because he's a Hamilton fan.
Yeah, I remember he put it up on Twitter.
Deserved it since
the
race.
Come
I
on.
knew that he was going to win.
Oh yeah, from what point? What was it? Sort of 10, 11 you thought he was going to win?
When the race started, I was new.
When the race started, okay, mate.
Yeah.
Not at the point where he was 8-9 seconds behind.
No, but he is the greatest of all time for a reason. So
Jesus.
Chew,
can I just say, Ollie, you invite cast.
What was that?
There are much more intelligible people around.
No, but nobody brings in the views like a controversial Lewis Hamilton.
He's got
fan.
a point.
No, he does have a point. It must be said. Well, there's your title.
You need someone here who's going to disagree with everything that
everything that's been said.
Yeah,
all three of us can agree, and then Rickson comes in nope.
Well, I'm only telling the truth.
The stupid thing was though is that around lap 10, my prediction of Hamilton, Raikkonen, Ricciardo looked pretty wank, and then Hamilton, Raikkonen, and Perez come on the podium, and I was like, oh, actually, I was pretty close.
Let's not lie, nobody had Perez.
No one had Perez. I mean, I didn't have Perez in third, even when he was in third with a lap to go.
Yeah, you clearly have faith in him, don't you?
No, not really. No, he's not in the Force India. I don't. Mind you, that Force India and the didn't even qualify to Q2.
Yeah.
So I had no faith in that Force India.
That's a fair point. It was lucky for Lewis today, but they all count.
Yeah, no, definitely. He needed that as well. It makes it between him and Vettel pretty big. A bit like last year, where the thing last year was a bit of a turning point in the season. This year, this result's a turning point in the season.
Because to be fair, no one likes Mercedes dominance, but I don't think anyone would like Ferrari dominance either. So
we just need a battle that isn't just two teams.
Red Bull. We need to stop crashing into each other, and then I think they'll be.
Yeah, but everything from top four, it was Red Bull, Renault, and I've got a picture on my phone that down the straight you got it's like copy paste.
Yeah.
They're side by side, it's copy paste two rows. That was really interesting, and then behind you had. You still had Stroll there. Grosjean hadn't fucked it up yet. Everything was going on down there, and then the camera goes to top three for 5 seconds.
Yeah, and then that's it. It's not even close to each other.
Let's go back to the rest.
How have we got to this? What we fall about just over 30 minutes into recording this? We haven't mentioned Charles Leclerc.
Well,
There's
He
nothing-
was saving it
there's
for the
nothing-
last half an hour.
Yeah,
There's
he didn't
nothing
turn
to
up.
mention. There's nothing to. He's
Great race.
He got fucking lucky and just did well. That's
Oh,
all
no,
it is.
Can't go for fit.
That's all it is. You've got to stop saying that he's going to be like. Yes, he's going to be good, but he's not going to be amazing. I'm sorry. He's shown me nothing that's made me go, oh, you know what? He's going to be good. Showed me nothing. He's been bang average.
He ran a
He's
good
been
race.
bang average, and then he has one good race at Baku where Stroll had a good race. You know, it's it's very easy to be lucky at Baku. Very easy. If you keep
Yeah,
it out
especially
of
with these two
walls,
races.
you are going to get points. And he kept it out of the wall, like the same as a lot of other drivers did. And then he got points.
Yeah.
There's
Actually,
nothing-
in fairness,
there's
Alonso
nothing-
probably had a
there's
better race.
nothing special about getting points at Baku. It's very easy if you don't.
So
crash.
there's nothing special about winning at Baku then as well, if I follow your theory.
Yeah.
So Lewis isn't the
Oh.
goal. Lewis is
Oh,
just
he's-
lucky
I
to
think
turn
he's
up
done
at the
you.
right
No,
track.
but Lewis has won world championships, so that makes him the greatest of all time. I'm sorry, no, it's just not. He isn't as good as people make out he is, and I don't
In
know.
fairness,
why,
Alonso had a better race than Leclerc did.
I don't know why
I'm
people are making like, fan accounts of him on Twitter.
Alonso
because
was dead
you are
last
a waste
with
of
two
seeing
wheels working.
Yeah, but it's Alonso, Alex. Two-time world
Yeah, like-
champion.
Yeah,
The
which is why Alonso's
the
greatest of all
penultimate
time.
lap,
Potentially
Van
the-
Dorn was dead last as well, and he got 2 points.
True.
potentially the most whiny driver behind Max is Fernando.
Yeah, I know, but he can get away with it though because he's on like 60
He's
million a year.
experienced.
Because he's a living meme, that's why.
Constantly fucking complaining about. Where's my nuts? Where's my fucking-
Oh dear.
Oh,
He
dear.
he can't just like he needs to do what Kimmy's done now and just like come out and basically say, "Oh, I am washed up. I'm gonna retire soon." He needs to do that. the same as Kimmy, and that means we can get some younger blood in, and then we can all start making fan accounts of them. And then as
That's
soon
right,
as
Charles
those-
Leclerc will replace him.
I think
How is Leclerc going to go from Sauber?
Yeah,
to
I think
McLaren,
Danny
Alex?
Rick's
It's
gonna
gonna be
gonna
Norris
get
going
that
in.
seat. I think Danny Rick's gonna get. We talk. Yeah, wait. What?
I meant instead of
Wait.
Raikkonen.
You want? Yeah, I'm talking
Oh,
about.
sorry,
Roy-
you're right. Ignore, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah,
thought you were
I
referring
went
to-
to
you got me
I
really
went
confused.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
still thought you were still
Yeah,
referring
no.
to Alonso. Sorry, my bad.
No, I think Danny Rick's gonna get that seat when Kimi calls it a day.
Potentially.
I think Danny Rick's gonna get it, and then Charles is gonna be stuck in Sauber, Haas maybe because Ferrari
Yeah.
engine.
Maybe.
I can't.
Who's going to move to Red Bull then? And I swear to God, if you say Hartley,
Gasly.
Hartley.
Be Gasly, it won't be Hartley.
Yeah,
It's not Hartley, it's Gasly.
Hartley.
Where was
Who
Gasly
else?
today, Alex? 12th. Is that points? No.
He's shit.
Yeah, where was
Now-
Hartley in Bahrain?
Well, Bahrain.
Yeah,
Bahrain. You said
Bahrain.
Bahrain.
Bahrain. I think that's based in Wales, Alex.
I'm still thinking of sheep. I mean,
Bahrain.
Bahrain.
although I have to say I would rather have that Max improves his behavior and skill on track this season with Danny Rick, rather than Danny Rick leaving, him being there with Gasly, and then I see his career going downhill quite fast.
oh yeah, potentially.
No
I think
faith.
Yeah, he's
Ricciardo
got no faith.
will leave Red Bull if it continues this way. It's a definite. He's not going to be.
I can't see him staying. I must
No,
agree.
if somebody's going to offer him a better deal than he's
Exactly,
got now, and he's going to take it because Max is not going to leave Red Bull for a while. You know, he's going to be
Yeah.
like number one driver at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not just due to his teammate. Let's not all put it that way. It's also like Danny Rick says, yeah, I want a competitive car where performance is number one. Yeah, sorry, that's not Red Bull Racing. It has been for the last 3 or 4
But
years.
I think a bigger factor is Max being a nonce every week.
Oh, for God's
Like,
do you really think? I know Ricciardo is a living legend, but also Ricciardo is a living legend at Red Bull. Do you really think like he would suddenly go on to win multiple races in one season if he gets a seat at Ferrari?
yes, I do. I do think that. Yeah, because if you think of the amount of times Raikkonen's been close to winning and bottled it, Danny Rick wouldn't bottle it like Raikkonen does.
Very true. No, I
Because
do agree.
he's a better driver than Kimi now.
But do you think that Daniel Ricciardo will move to a team where he is the clear number 2?
I don't think.
I don't think he'll be a clear number 2.
He
Yeah, that's
will
how
be.
Ferrari
It's
work.
Ferrari.
Though. That's how Ferrari. They only have one driver. It's the way they work. They've always worked like that.
It's just the fact
Yeah,
that
I just
Raikkonen's
thought
there
just
has just
with
got, oh shit, we got a second car. What do we do with it?
Yeah. One is always a backup for another.
Exactly.
Because I think
Massa was with that with Alonso.
I don't know how Ricciardo plays it out himself, but the way the media play it out, I know that's a dangerous assumption to make, but the way the media play it out is like Ricciardo was like, right, I'm ready to move up, and everyone should be lining up to come and get me. But I don't think it really works that way.
They are. You cannot say that there is any team that wouldn't want Danny Rick. Like Merck, they could get rid of Bottas and get in Danny Rick, who wouldn't bottle a last lap overtake. He would go for it and get it done, and then win the race. You've got to think that as fans, we don't. For me, anyway, and I think for a lot of other people, we focus more on the drivers and we don't think about the teams as much. You know, it's all about who's going to win the drivers' title. Whereas for teams, they're more bothered
Constructors.
They don't care who wins the driver's title.
Your team does well, you know, and you want two drivers, and obviously you want them to get along, and sometimes it's difficult, but you want two drivers that are going to get finishes every single week. They aren't going to hit each other, and if they need to make that overtake that's going to win them the race, they go for it. And I think,
but that's the issue.
Danny Rick is definitely that person.
Yes, but the issue I have with it is I don't see Danny Rick working together with Hamilton. And I don't see him working together with Vettel, because at Ferrari, he will be the clear number 2.
I don't know. I think he would be all right with Lewis personally.
I think he'd be okay with Lewis, and Vettel no, because Vettel won't like the fact that Danny Rick will go there and go, no, I'm going to win a world championship here. So that means that Vettel won't.
I don't think Danny Rick has got the appeal for Ferrari. The way, like, his character, like how he acts, wouldn't work with Ferrari. I think he's like, not he's stupid, but like too happy, too friendly.
He's too charismatic.
Yeah, that's the word. Yeah, I think he'd be better with Mercedes than with Ferrari.
Yeah.
Thing is that we also gotten a bit used to Daniel Ricciardo and Max being like, you know, like big and small brother type of and deck thing going on at the Red Bull Racing, and it worked. And maybe that's why I don't see him at another team, because I don't think it would work that well at Ferrari or Mercedes. But I do hope that if he wants to move, that he gets a better seat, because he really deserves it. But it's just one thing that pains me a bit, and I really have to stay off Twitter on race days. But someone mentioned, and I thought about it for quite some time, and he's actually quite right. Ricciardo's move on Bottas when he absolutely dived it up the inside. What was that, China?
Yeah.
When Bottas said afterwards, luckily I moved, because otherwise it would have been a crash. Yes?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Bottas moved. Ricciardo made the position. Was it a daring move? Was it a nice overtake? Yes, but it was also not without risk. Yeah? Today he tried one of those moves on Max. Max doesn't move. They crash. And that's the bit, you know, the perspective.
But they're teammates. That's different, because they're teammates. That's totally different.
Yeah.
No, Bottas moved out of the way to save his car, because Bottas is...
Because Bottas is smarter than Max.
But also,
Bottas has better racecraft than Max.
Yes, I would have to agree with that, but it doesn't take away that sometimes his leaps, like, you know, when you go for a gap, you have to make sure that you can make it on your own without the other person having to either get off his line, or you know what I mean? You know where I'm going to with this?
Yeah.
But the thing is, Bottas had to move in China. And like today, that's why I felt like, you know, let's just not spend too much attention like on it in the media. But the media just love accidents like this, because that's why, like, you know, yes, he just shut the door on him and they crashed horribly. And I don't know. I think it's just like you say, Bottas has a bit more experience, and he knows, like, I see him coming. I better move out of the way to save my car, like rather finish and take 2 points less.
Yeah, but see, the thing is
brain
that
doesn't work that way.
Yeah, but the thing is that I think that Ricciardo is a better driver than Bottas, because he goes, well, if there's no risk, there's no reward. He risked to move down the inside of Bottas. He won the race.
Yeah.
Bottas didn't make a risk down the inside of Vettel, or didn't even put it anywhere near there, and he came second. That's the difference. Is Danny Rick? I was watching an interview with him on Sky. Danny Rick went, well, yeah, of course even if I didn't make it, I'd at least put myself side by side. You know, put yourself in there, because else you've got no chance. And Bottas is very no risk, no reward, but, you know, I'm happy to pick up loads of points. And, you know, because Danny Rick makes loads of moves, he crashes every, you know, 1 in 10 times.
Yeah.
But he wins races as a result.
Yeah, that's also true. But don't you think it's obviously it's let's say 75% racecraft that he pulls them off or gets away unscathed.
Yeah.
And like 25% luck that or maturity that Max is just missing at the moment.
Potentially, I think his patience to find the perfect move.
Yeah, that's
or
why
to put his
I
car
really
in the
like.
right position.
That's why I really like the pairing of Ricciardo and Verstappen, because I think they will. Like, I don't know. I just think if Ricciardo leaves, Red Bull is. I don't know. I think they would better shell out a lot more money and give him a better contract and keep him for at least 1 or 2 more seasons, because I think they really are going to hurt themselves as they let Danny Rick go. Also, because he makes Max a better driver, I think.
Potentially, they do feed off each other.
Well, let us know your opinions on that discussion in the comments.
Yeah, we could go for so long on that, couldn't
Yeah,
we?
that was late for you. I'm so sorry. That was
No,
way
no,
too
no.
long.
It's a good discussion to have. No, it's very good. Anyway, as we've done the race, I wanted to get your guys' drivers of the day and dicks of the day as well. So we'll start with the most pissed off person in the podcast. We'll start with December.
Oh, I'm not pissed off.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, of course I'm not. Jesus.
Driver of the day, either Leclerc or Van Dorn. I'll have to go Leclerc.
Okay.
And dick of the day, I had someone for this, and I completely forgot.
Should we come at you, Ken?
Yes, please. I'll look it up because I typed it to one of you guys,
All right.
and I completely forgot.
All right, fair enough.
Causa?
Driver of the day for me, Fernando Alonso. You know, even making that car back is enough in itself. Finishing P7, I think, in the end. I think that was a really good result. I don't think anyone of the top 5. Well, actually, maybe Perez deserve driver of the day, but I'm going to go Alonso. Dick of the day for me was Nico Hulkenberg. 100%.
What, just for crashing?
Could have retired 2 people and then retired himself.
Okay. Okay, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you that. Rickson?
I'm going to go driver of the day. Perez, for putting it on the podium in that Force India. That's been quite shit this season. And dick of the day is Max for just being retarded to turn 1.
I just don't care about that. And I was like, oh god.
Well, you know, you asked me who I thought, and that's. And if you don't like it, fight me about it. You are going to be wrong. So.
A good thing I saved my dick of the day. Does it have to be a driver?
No, it can be anyone you want.
It could be my dick if you really want, but
no one wants your dick, Rickson.
Peak.
Or what?
Fair play on that. Fair play.
No, dick of the day for me is Grosjean. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, agreed.
True. That's one thing I can join you on.
Agree. Go then, Cheek. Who was your driver and dick of the day?
My driver of the day is not Hartley.
I was going to say, if you say Brendan Hartley, I
was tempted, but I don't want to ruin the whole joke. He did a good job.
But he got a point. How can he not?
Yeah, but my driver of the day is going to be Lance Stroll because he actually got points, and Lance Stroll is rubbish.
Sorry?
In a rubbish car. So yeah, Lance Stroll for me,
Right,
driver of the day. Out of nowhere.
Did you even watch the race?
He did well.
It's almost like he just saw
Okay,
let
him have
standings and went, oh, Stroll got points. Stroll
driver of the day. He got points.
Shut up, man. And then
you took that personally. I'm sorry, man.
it hurt my heart. And dick of the day is going to go to Christina Aguilera.
What? Fair play. Yeah.
Any reason?
Because she was doing the lights at the start of the race, and she didn't know what she was doing. She's on her phone, taking selfies, sunglasses on. She didn't want to be there. She got paid millions just to sing. She was like, "Oh yeah, I'll just straddle on in." DC on Channel 4 tried to talk to her, and she wouldn't talk to me. Her manager told she wouldn't talk. Her manager told DC she wasn't going to talk. He was just a bit of a dick, really. So yeah, Christina Aguilera.
Okay.
pretty much any celeb that goes to gets paddock access.
I mean, at
No,
least
JK
was actually in the garage watching.
Oh yeah, JK, yeah.
Yeah, but
he
he was
loved it
in
there.
there.
He loved it.
Yeah,
Yeah, but he goes through a lot of F1 races, so he knows the deal by
Yeah,
now.
but every once in a while, there's someone there, like a celebrity, that you're like, oh, he's probably a nice guy, and then like when the race is on, you can actually like see them looking at the screens and like, oh, what's going on? What's going on? And I don't mean this like in a sexist way, but every time they get a celebrity female in, the only thing she does is take selfies.
Is it who? What's that saying? Is it Dua Lipa? I think her name is. She's a
Dua Lipa, please God, sir. Why do I know this and you guys don't?
Yeah, she tweeted a photo going, "I've arrived 40 minutes after the race finished." I was like, sorry. I think you've missed the main event here, love.
Wow.
Yeah, that. So
Okay.
she also gets she sort of joint, but yeah, those.
So Crashfest and Dua Lipa get your drives today. You can tell he's got the girlfriend here. Ken's like, oh, I know that. Mrs. listens to him.
No,
She's fit though, so I can see why.
Yeah, no. In fairness, Ken, she's hot.
when Formula One goes back to Austin, I just want Owen Wilson in the Red Bull Racing Garage so he can go, wow.
Why? You got that in my head. Can I also just say that me and Rickson just both straight up called Ken's girlfriend hot, and we just ignored.
Yeah, it's just
Wait, when did I say that?
It's just said.
I said Dua Lipa, whatever her name
Oh,
is.
okay. Oh no, but Ken's
Right,
missed.
now we have to Google Dua Lipa.
Do you not know what she looks like? Anyway, so
Anyway.
next 2 weeks now.
Oh, Rickson, you got really bad standards, by the way.
Coming from the bald months.
Roast
I'm sorry,
Central on the podcast.
Why do you come back to me? It's just like, I just Googled Dua Lipa. She can't sing, and apparently she can't read a fucking clock.
Anyway,
I'll take them easy, Ken. I'll take them nice.
I bet you do, mate. Oh,
2 weeks' time is the Catalonia Grand Prix. Usually throws up a good race. Hopefully we get another one. And I was interesting that all the teams have done a lot of testing there, so it should be, well, hopefully pretty good. And hopefully they know the track a lot better than the other tracks on the calendar. So,
Hint, hint, Grosjean.
yeah, hopefully they can crash. Well, Rickson, you might be actually going to that Grand Prix.
I'm not.
You're not going.
It's in 2 weeks. I'm not going.
Okay. He was planning it all in the chat earlier on.
No, I think it's more. I think France is going to.
France. Okay. Well, we'll talk to you before France. Then.
We should all go Spain next season, though.
Yeah, I'm going.
I mean, to be fair, I don't think that I want to go now because you're just going to be. It's the whole fucking race. I can't really. Don't forget to for that, to be honest.
Come on, Max.
I might have to sit in like a different grandstand with all the Lewis Hamilton fans.
To be fair,
That's not a grandstand I want to be in.
It's my kind of grandstand.
if we go with
That
Rickson
might
to the
work,
Spanish
I
Grand Prix, I
think.
hope Mercedes do the same thing they did 3 seasons ago.
Yeah, 20.
Just to see Rickson like sulk for 50 laps. Just, Lewis!
I don't know.
That kid when Ricciardo crashed. Raikkonen, sorry.
Yeah.
Raikkonen crashed.
Just think of that lad with facial hair. That's basically what I'm going to be.
Bloody hell.
And
All
looks
right.
like he's got children locked up in his cellar. Oh, great.
Wow. This podcast has just been.
And
I
you
mean-
all wonder why you haven't heard from Frobo.
Oh, God.
Oh, that was good.
Anyway, Duke, Spanish Grand Prix.
Spanish Grand
Anyway,
Prix.
Spanish Grand Prix prediction.
Podcasting meltdown after one slightly thick joke. Everybody's like, oh, God.
Predictions for the Spanish Grand Prix. We'll start with Rickson. I'm going to guess it's
I mean,
Rickson.
I don't know why you come to me every time. Prediction every week. Hamilton for pole, Hamilton to win. Bottas second,
Wait.
Vettel third.
I
think
need
that's
to
the same
type.
prediction every week.
Yeah, that's fine.
I need to type. That's my.
Hamilton, Bottas, Vettel.
No, actually, I'm going to go Hamilton. I feel like because I keep picking Hamilton to win, I'm like slowly dropping down, and I'm like fourth by a mile. So I'm still going to go Hamilton for pole, Hamilton to win, because I am the thickest Hamilton fanboy, the juiciest. But
I mean, if you could describe a Hamilton, for you.
No, literally. No, you're bang on. But no, I'm going to go Vettel second. That's there.
And Bottas third. All right, makes a bit more.
Max the crash out.
Right.
Well,
Put that in the notes then.
Because he's really bad.
All right, thank you for your opinion, Rickson.
I'm going, boys.
Wow.
Reeling him in.
Reeling him in.
Reel the boat.
It's like baity tweets on Twitter, just baity comments on the podcast.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll stop hugging the limelight now.
Causa?
Alright, I'm going to go Ricciardo for pole.
What the actual?
Hamilton to win, Ricciardo second, Raikkonen third.
You're fucking weird, mate. You're so strange. Why would you do that? It's almost like you don't want to win.
Mate, you got to go for the... Can I just say, we've been doing this for 2 seasons, and we haven't got a single prediction right.
I mean, it is difficult because we always pick kind of the same stuff.
Yeah, it was still...
I don't even want to say my prediction out loud. I just put it in the chat. There we go.
Okay, Ken's prediction is Vettel to get pole, Vettel to win, Hamilton second, and Verstappen
Why have you got
somehow in
John
third.
Byrne to come third? You know, this isn't right.
He's in the wrong country, though. He's in Paris now.
Yeah. Wrong. I mean, you are very close with the sport, but it's still wrong. Like...
Right, Duke, what's your prediction?
My
Jump on the Verstappen bandwagon.
No, it's going to be Vettel for pole, Vettel to win, Hamilton second, and...
Why don't you just say Verstappen third, just keep it the same as Ken?
No. I'm going to put...
Brendan Hartley.
Raikkonen, no. Okay, Alex, you're ruining the joke because that's not funny.
Vettel for pole, Vettel to win, Hamilton second, Raikkonen third.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, that's interesting.
So only Duke and Causa, only you two have any faith in Raikkonen, because I think you're the only ones that put Raikkonen in the prediction.
Raikkonen's
like all season.
Raikkonen came second, alright? Calm down, mate.
He's been on the podium every single race.
No, he hasn't. He wasn't on the podium today, so that...
He was second today.
Shit, he was. So I didn't watch the race. Oh no, I've been...
Honestly,
he is a sack of shit though. So
he's a sack of shit that gets on the podium. So yeah, you laugh what you want, Rickson.
I didn't see Vettel climbing up.
Yeah, thank God.
To finish off, I wanted to talk about the Grid Watchers podcast F1 League that we do have on the official F1 Fantasy website. And it pains me to say, Causa is top, right, with 125
I'm leading!
points. For some reason, there's only 4
It's updated 5.
It's
updated 5 now.
Yeah, so Causa is on top with 125. We've got Rosberg is the best with 92. 183 Esports.
Little way behind, not me.
Which is Jamie 183, I believe, with 74.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Race Beacon, which I race with in SRL, is 66 points, and EVR Matt 212 with 66 points. So hopefully it updates, because then it would be nice to for myself, Rickson, and Ken to get some points. So well done to everybody so far. There's still a long way to go, and hopefully Causa comes bottom, because nobody likes it.
Mate, if I win, I'm not going to shut up about it for the entirety of the...
You do realise if you win, you aren't going to get the prize money. It goes to the closest person who is...
Well, the thing is 10 of it would be my own money.
I think it might be a good idea that once...
Your own money. Just keep that in mind, you know.
Yeah.
I think it might basically giving yourself a tenner for winning a game that you're the only
potentially, yeah. I'll send it to myself.
That's a bit sad. Don't
But I'm just curious, did we really all score 0 points, or hasn't it updated yet?
No, you didn't score 0. In fairness, we could introduce it at the start of the next episode as to who's doing well.
Yeah, we'll do that.
And then do it that way. Do it at the start of each episode.
Going on. Hopefully updates for... we'll keep you posted. If you follow the Grid Watchers podcast Twitter, we'll post weekly updates on
definitely.
what's going on. So I think that rounds off for today's podcast. Thank you very much for listening. Don't forget to check us out on YouTube, iTunes, and we are now on Spotify, so you can check us out for those.
Are we actually?
I believe we are, yeah. I'll double check it, but I think we are on Spotify now, hopefully. But yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for Rickson, Causa, and Sip for joining me. Don't forget to check them out in the description, and we shall see you in 2 weeks' time for the Catalonia Grand Prix. Good night.
Before they realised we were recording.
Right. Feels good to be back in the podcast. Good thing I didn't do a prediction though last week. Because mine was going to be something Ricciardo and something Verstappen, and then I will.
Hartley got points.
Yeah, boy.
Oh, we did as well.
Yeah.
Alonso got more.
Praise Jesus, my internet's working again.
Right. Okay, we're all recording, so we're all ready. Right. Okay. Just got to think of an intro again. Does anybody else want to intro the podcast for once?
What's that?
Does anybody else want to intro the podcast?
Well, you post intro it anyway, so you might as well just get into it.
He's not wrong.
That
wrong.
is a good point. That is.
You do always do an intro before the intro, which to me makes no sense.
Well, no, it's because I never get a chance to talk about everything we talk about in the first section. So I thought I'd do an intro, like many podcasts do. They have a pre-intro.
Yeah, no, but just get into it and just say, just literally just say. So this week I'm joined by the normal three of Causa, Ken, and Rickson. What do you think of the race? Just literally just get straight into it.
Okay, all right, that's easy.
Yeah. It has more flair that way, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just a bit shit when Alex does it. Like, I'm sure you'll do it better than that.
Well, yeah, I wasn't exactly trying to do the intro.
It's just a bit shit, you know.
You're a wee bit shite.
That's very far away from where I live, mate.
Farmers, Scottish people, the same thing, aren't they?
Pretty
No,
much.
Definitely not the same people.
Pretty much like, no, farmers are a little bit more dirty.
One drinks haggis and the other one drinks cider. It's very
Drinks haggis? Drinks haggis?
Drink haggis!
If I hear these arguments, I think like at some point at Goodwood, not like when we're out and about, but just like when we're sitting at Chuke's having a beer, we should just point a camera at us. And I think if we upload that shit,
No, I think some of the stuff that would be said wouldn't be allowed anywhere near anybody's channel.
There,
Some of that stuff is
definitely.
gonna be straight looked.
Yeah,
for the deep web.
yeah. I'm going to be vlogging, and there's be go. I can't upload that, can I?
I mean, you're going to be saying that like every 10 minutes.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I can't say that. Rickson said something fucking ridiculously sexist or ridiculously racist.
Like God, she's hot, shame she's Mexican, that sort of thing.
Yeah, but I was thinking about
Mexican birds are quite fit. So
yeah, no, fair enough.
I was thinking about filming a few things as well because I got quite a journey to get to you guys.
Yeah.
But like, imagine we go there, you know, Goodwood. I turn my camera on. Oh look, yeah, there's a new Bugatti Chiron, and then you just hear in the background, "Hey, Chuke, you're a sheep shagger."
Yeah.
So we all dismiss the fact Ken just called it a Bugatti Chiron rather than Chiron.
Yeah, no. Again, I was trying to ignore it. It's a Chiron.
It's a French car.
Stop bullying him, man. He's foreign. Come on.
yeah, but in fairness, so is Ollie.
That is true.
Wait, you actually call it a Chiron?
Yeah, it's a Chiron.
Chiron.
All right. No, that's fine.
It's a chevron, really.
It's a Chiron.
Bugatti Chevron.
Yeah, it's a Corvette.
Yeah, you've got to stay 2 fucking car lengths away from it.
Motorway joke.
Wait,
For
but
fuck's sake.
Bugatti's French.
Yeah, Bugatti's French. Yeah.
Motorway
So
joke.
you actually say it on the French. Oh, so that's cool.
Ken, let's just move on before I start.
Yeah, let's
just kill myself.
Got him.
Honestly, I hope you fucking drown.
The next 2 months need to go quick. With Alex to his face.
Literally, me and Rickson in that hotel, it's just us just going, "Fuck you doing, mate?" Roasting each other and go, "Fuck you doing?"
What's that sound, Alex? Is he just like...
all I'm saying is you can't be any weirder than Chuke left the bathroom door, and while he was in there, I went, "Mate, what are you doing?" I heard this noise. He goes, "Oh, I'm just cutting my toenails."
Oh, was it? Was for fingernails? I said, didn't they toenails? Fingernails.
I mean, in fairness, if your hands are on your feet, then yeah, it was your toenails. But I mean,
That's rank.
Right, Causa, I'm sending you to the gay pub, and you can stay there all night.
No, don't send him to a straight pub because he'd hate that more.
Okay, I sent him to the strip club in Portsmouth. Wiggles.
Wait, are you recording currently, are we?
Yeah,
We're
we're still
going.
recording.
We're going, Wiggles. It's happening.
Why am I not surprised that the strip club in Portsmouth is called Wiggles?
Yeah.